Today our topic is Maurya Dynasty. So the biggest dynasty or biggest empire in India. So basically we have to say this is the empire, Mauryan empire or Maurya's empire. You know the difference between empire and kingdom. For example, Magadha, it was kingdom. For example, Magadha, Chedi, Panchala, Kuru, they are kingdoms. But this dynasty is empire. The difference between empire and kingdom. So empire means the group of kingdoms. The empire means group of kingdoms. The emperor will rule empire. And kingdom means it is a particular area, it will be ruling by the king. So group of kingdoms is called empire. Emperor will rule empire. That's why this is called Maurya's empire or Mauryan empire. So this is the first empire in India. Before Maurya's empire, there were no any kind of empires. So this is the first empire in India. So actually, it is a first welfare empire. It is a first welfare empire. This is established by Chandragupta Maurya. Maurya's empire is established by Chandragupta Maurya. So Chandragupta actually he was protected and he was supported by Kautilya. Kautilya was the main person to establish Maurya's dynasty. That's why, so Chandragupta Maurya became the founder of Maurya's history. So then we can explain the information later. So first of all, we have to see what are the sources for Maurya's history. What are the sources for Maurya's history? So here we have two kinds of sources, that is books and inscriptions. So we have to see the books and inscriptions. Here among the books also we have Indian books and foreign books. We have two kinds of books, that is Indian books and foreign books. First of all, we have to see native books or Indian books, Indian literature. So what are the books for the source of Maurya's history? Here first book was Ardhastra. So first book was Ardhastra. So this is written by Kautilya. Kautilya wrote Ardhastra. Ardhastra is Sanskrit book. It is the first writing in India. Before Ardhastra we have no any kind of books, written sources. This is the first written book in India. Of course, there were Mahabharata, Ramayana and Vedas also there, but historical, as per historical system, we have the first book in India, that is Ardhastra. It is written by Kautilya. So Kautilya, he was the main person to establish, he was main supporter to establish Maurya's dynasty. So he was the minister of Nandas. Once Nandas insulted Kautilya, that's why he wants to take revenge. So he appointed Chandragupta Maurya as the ruler. Then he wrote Ardhastra book. So Kautilya has three names. He has three names. One Kautilya, one more Vishnugupta. So Vishnugupta, and third Chanakya. So he has three names like this. Basically he was Brahman from Ujjaini. So he has birth name was Vishnugupta. His birth name was Vishnugupta. So he was son of Chanakudu. He was son of Chanakudu. That's why he became Chanakya. And after writing Ardhastra, because of Ardhastra systems, so he explained tacitative ethics. Because of that book, he got a name Kautilya. So it is the Ardhastra. But you see, so many people can understand, so many students, Ardhastra means economics, but it is not economics. It is a political administration of the Mauryas. It is called political administration. It explains about the kingdom, ruling, administration, that's it. That's why it is not a economics. So this is called political administration. It is written by Kautilya. So Ardhastra read by 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 in 1906. The first person who read Ardhastra, that is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 in 1906. 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 was a person, he read Ardhastra in 1906. Because of 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 we are knowing the Ardhastra. And we knowing about Ardhastra. And second book we have, that second book is so Mudra Rakshasam. A second book we called Mudra Rakshasam. Mudra Rakshasam. So it is called Mudra Rakshasam. This is written by Vishakadatta. It is written by Vishakadatta. So Mudra Rakshasam, Vishakadatta was in the period of Guptas. He was in the period of Guptas. So he wrote a Mudra Rakshasam. This Mudra Rakshasam also explaining about Maurya's history and Maurya's information. And later we have one more book that is Niti Shastra. Niti Shastra. So it is written by Kamandaka. So it is written by Kamandaka. So Niti Shastra also called the Ardhastra of Guptas. Niti Shastra, it is written by Kamandaka. So Kamandaka, he wrote Niti Shastra. This Niti Shastra, also called Gupta's Ardhashastra, it is explaining Gupta's administration as well as little bit is explaining about Maurya's information. And one more book, the important book, that is Raja Tarangini. Raja Tarangini. So this is also one of the important book regarding history of Mauryas. Raja Tarangini. So Raja Tarangini, it is written by Kalahanudu. Especially it is explaining about the rulers of Jammu Kashmir. It is explaining about the rulers of Kashmir. So that's why here Raja Tarangini also the book explaining about information of the Maurya rulers. So especially these are the native or Indian books. So regarding foreign books, there are so many foreign books regarding the history of Mauryas. So first of all here we have Indica. So this is the most important book written by Megasthenes. So Megasthenes was the traveler or a messenger of Seleucus Nicator. He was in the period of Seleucus Nicator. He visited Chandragupta Maurya court. So he wrote Indica. This Indica is explaining about Maurya's history. The most important book, this is Indica. They will ask you who wrote Indica. Indica wrote by Megasthenes. And second book we have, that is Guide to Geography. So Guide to Geography, it is written by Ptolemy. So Guide to Geography, it is written by Ptolemy. It is also explaining about Maurya's information. And one more book we have, that is Natural History. So Natural History, this is written by the great writer, that is Ptolemy. Sorry, this is Pliny. So Natural History, it is written by Pliny. So it is also explaining about the information about the Mauryas. And one more book we have, that is Tibet Charitra. It is called Tibet Charitra. This is written by Taranath Lama. Tibet Charitra, it is written by Taranath Lama. It is explaining about the information about or history about Mauryas. And we have one more important books. These are Sri Lankan Buddhist books. That is 𝗧𝗧 and Mahavamsha. So 𝗧𝗧 and Mahavamsha. So these two books are telling about the Sri Lankan Buddhist books. These are also explaining about Maurya's dynasty. So that is Indian books and foreign books. Both of the books, Indian books and foreign books, they are explaining about Maurya's history. And now we go for the inscriptions. So here we have inscriptions. Inscription also, I told you, one of the source for the Maurya's history. So here Ashoka inscriptions. First ruler in India laid inscriptions. Who was the king in India laid inscriptions first? That is, Ashoka was the first king laid inscriptions. That's why we should remember, before Ashoka there were no any kind of rulers in India. They have not laid any inscription. That's why here Ashoka has two credits we should remember. One, first king ruler laid inscription in India first. And second, so one and only ruler laid maximum inscriptions. After Ashoka, there will be kings, there may be 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. But he laid near about main inscriptions, 21 inscriptions. That's why Ashoka was one and only ruler laid maximum inscriptions, and as well as we can say he was first ruler laid inscriptions in India. So he laid two kinds of inscriptions. one rock edicts and rock inscriptions. Rock edicts or rock inscriptions. So Ashoka laid 14 rock edicts or inscriptions. In this rock inscriptions, 13th inscription is most important inscription, rock inscriptions. So this is a 13th inscription is most important, that is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. 13th inscription is called 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. This 𝗧𝗦𝗔 in Andhra Pradesh, in Kurnool district. So 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 is the most important inscription, as well as it is the biggest rock inscription. Okay, so 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription is the biggest rock inscription and important inscription. It is describing about Kalinga war. Which inscription describing about Kalinga war? That is so 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription, as well as called 13th inscription. It is a rock inscription. So rock inscriptions also called rock edicts. So Kalinga, it is explaining about Kalinga war. And he laid 7 pillar inscriptions. He laid 7 pillar inscriptions. For example, Saranath, Sanchi, Allahabad. So these are the pillar inscriptions. That's why Ashoka was first ruler in India, laid inscription and laid maximum inscriptions. That is rock inscriptions and pillar inscription. This is called pillar inscriptions. Okay, and after Ashoka we have some more inscriptions. That is so 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. 𝗧𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. This is a most important inscription. They will ask oftenly. That is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. 𝗧𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription by 𝗂𝗽𝗱. 𝗂𝗽𝗱 was a Orissa ruler. After decline of Mauryas, he ruled Orissa. That's why he laid 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. So this is by 𝗂𝗽𝗱. It explains about Mauryans information also. And now, so one more inscription we have. So that is Janagar inscription. Janagar inscription. Janagar inscription. So this is called Janagar inscription. So Janagar inscription by Rudradama, Shaka king Rudradama, he laid Janagar inscription. So you know here Janagar inscription also called Girnar inscription. So in India, this is the first Sanskrit inscription. This is a first Sanskrit inscription in India laid by Rudradama. That is a Janagar inscription, or also called Girnar inscription. So this is laid by Rudradama, the king of Shaka. So most of all, these are the inscriptions explaining about to Maurya's history. So here we have two kinds of sources, that is books and inscriptions. Maurya kings. But we have to listen first. Who are the Mauryas? Are they Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya? So what was the community of Kshatriya, these Mauryas? So maximum historians are decided these Mauryas belonging to Shudra community. So they belonging to Shudra community. Why? Because Chandragupta Maurya, he was a son of a worker in the royal families of Nandas. Her name was Mura. Her name was Mura. This Mura was a house worker in the court, in the royal families of, in the houses of Nanda royal family. That's why Mura, she was a Shudra. Her son Chandragupta. So he was a son of Mura. That's why his surname became Maurya, on the name of Mura. On the name of mother's name, their surname became Maurya. That's why these Mauryas belonging to Shudra, Varna Shudra community. This is maximum historians are accepted. But one more controversial discussion also there. That is, so Guptas belonging to Kshatriyas. Some of the saying that, so they belong to Kshatriya, Varna, Kshatriya community. How it is possible? How they are saying? So in Nepal area, surrounding area, we have one Kshatriya community, that is Maurya community. Maurya clan is there. This is a Kshatriya clan, Kshatriya community Maurya. So their main profession, the feeding of the peacocks. In Nepal surrounding area, they were feeding or they were breeding to the peacocks. That's why on the name of Maurya, its Maurya came. According to some of the historians' opinion, Maurya, on the name of Maurya, they got Maurya. That's why if they belong to Maurya tribe, they are called Kshatriyas. But less people, less historians are accepted this argument. But maximum people are accepted this argument. So they are son of Mura. And one more controversial discussion also there. They belong to Vaishya community or Vaishya Varna. Because in the ending of their name, Chandragupta, so ending of the name, there are having, so Gupta. That's why, so Gupta means Vaishya. So they may belong to Gupta community. They may belong to Gupta community. But anyhow, here we have three controversial discussions. They belong to Kshatriya, they belong to Shudra, they belong to Vaishya. But here maximum historians are decided these Mauryans are they belonging to, that is Shudra community. Okay, so this is the information regarding their surname, their clan. Chandragupta Maurya is the first king or is the founder of Maurya dynasty. He ruled from 321 to 297 BC. He ruled from 321 to 297 BC. So Chandragupta Maurya is founder of Mauryas dynasty. So earlier I told what is that? So actually Kautilya, he was insulted by Nanda kings. That's why he wanted to take revenge on Nanda kings. But he should want one great warrior. So he want to get one warrior. That's why he got Chandragupta Maurya. So he learned so many things to Chandragupta. He explained, he taught so many systems, so many administrative, so many fighting systems he taught to Chandragupta Maurya. That's why Chandragupta Maurya became a strong young warrior. Then on the advice of Chanakya, he wants to attack on Nanda dynasty. You know, in Nanda dynasty, the last ruler was Dhanananda. So earlier we told Nandas are 9 kings. Nandas are 9 kings. The last king of Nandas, that is Dhanananda. Dhanananda, he was the richest ruler. That Magadha dynasty, Magadha area, Magadha kingdom, it was the richest area, richest kingdom in the period of Dhanananda. So Dhanananda, as usual, he has a ego. He was a proudish. So Chandragupta Maurya, he wanted to attack on Nanda. But Dhanananda, so he has a lot of strength. So it is impossible to Chandragupta Maurya to defeat Nanda. That's why at the same time, when he thought to defeat Nanda, at the same time, Alexander was ruling. Alexander occupied, he was staying there northwest of India, especially the Takshashila area. So Chandragupta Maurya, he went to Alexander and he requested for his help to defeat Dhanananda. But Alexander scolded Chandragupta and refused help. That's why after that Alexander left India. Then so Chandragupta attacked on Dhanananda. So he defeated Dhanananda and established Maurya dynasty. That's why so Chandragupta Maurya is called founder of Mauryas dynasty. So he is a first emperor in India. Before Chandragupta Maurya, there were no any emperor. Kings are there, but no emperors. That's why he is called first emperor in India, and also first welfare king in India. He is also called first welfare king in India because he strived for the welfare of the people. So he is called first welfare king of India. So he has titles. He has titles. The titles are called Priyadarshini or Priyadarshi. So he has a title Priyadarshi. So he has title Priyadarshi. And one more, Devanam Priya. 𝗵𝗺𝗻𝗻. He has this title. So don't misunderstand anybody, because Ashoka also has these two titles. As well as Ashoka also has these two titles. Ashoka also called 𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗁 and 𝗵𝗺𝗻𝗻. That's why here Chandragupta Maurya has these same two titles. Ashoka has two titles, same titles. And that's why, so 𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗁 and 𝗵𝗺𝗻𝗻. 𝗵𝗺𝗺 means having good personality, looking good. And 𝗵𝗺𝗻𝗻 is liked by the god and goddess. That's why, so he has these two titles. And according to Greek literature, Chandragupta Maurya has one more title, that is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. So he has one more name, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. According to Greek literature, he is called 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. So these are the titles of Chandragupta Maurya. And Chandragupta, he wanted to spread the kingdom. He wanted to spread the kingdom and expand the kingdom. So that's why, for example, you see, he has vast kingdom. So from west up to Baluchistan and Persia. And in the north, Jammu and Kashmir. In the south, up to Mysore. And in the west, up to Bengal. So this is a vast kingdom. So that's why whenever he became the ruler, he wanted to expand, he wanted to spread the kingdom. So first he has the fighting with Seleucus Nicator in 305 BC. So he attacked on Seleucus Nicator. So Seleucus Nicator, who was Seleucus Nicator? So he was a representative of Alexander. When Alexander leaving India, so he appointed Seleucus Nicator as the ruler of that areas. What are the areas occupied by Alexander? So Seleucus Nicator was ruling northwest side of India. In 305 BC, Chandragupta Maurya attacked on Seleucus Nicator. But here there was the understanding, there was the compromising and a treaty between Seleucus Nicator and Chandragupta Maurya. Why? Because you see, so Seleucus Nicator definitely he can be defeated. That's why there was the compromising, there was a treaty between the Chandragupta Maurya and Seleucus Nicator. So this is, we can say, first treaty, first agreement between a foreign king and Indian king. So we should remember, in 305 BC, there was a treaty or agreement between Seleucus Nicator and Chandragupta Maurya. This is called a first treaty or first agreement between a foreign king and Indian king. So here Chandragupta Maurya married Seleucus Nicator daughter. Seleucus Nicator has given the daughter to Chandragupta. He married his daughter with Chandragupta Maurya. That name was Helena. Chandragupta Maurya married Seleucus Nicator daughter Helena. And for responding to this giving the daughter, he has given 500 elephants to Seleucus. Chandragupta Maurya, he has given 500 elephants to Seleucus Nicator. So this is the information regarding compromisation. And Chandragupta Maurya, he was first ruler in India, laid longest roads. So Chandragupta Maurya, he was a first ruler in India, laid longest roads. So before Chandragupta, there were no kings laid the roads in India for the transportation, for the communication, for the trading. So he was first ruler. That's why in the beginning I told you, he was first welfare king in India. So the welfare king means he strived for the welfare of development of the people. So apart from that, he laid roads, longest roads. So the road, one road from Pataliputra to, so it is up to Baluchistan. Pataliputra to up to Baluchistan via Takshashila. This is one of the longest road laid by Chandragupta. And one more road, Pataliputra to via Kandahar. So via Kandahar. Sorry, Pataliputra to Kandahar via Herat. So this is one more road. And one more road from Ujjain to Kanyakumari. Ujjain to Kanyakumari via Prathisthanapuram, Amaravati, Madura, Kanchi, Madura up to Kanyakumari. So this is one of the road from Ujjain. So these are the roads by Chandragupta Maurya. So these are the longest roads. That's why he is called the welfare king. So and in the period of Chandragupta Maurya, the important point we should understand. So he built that is Sudarshana Lake. Sudarshana Lake. So Sudarshan Lake was built by Pushyagupta. So lake by Pushyagupta. Pushyagupta was the governor of Chandragupta Maurya. He was working as governor to Saurashtra area. This area, he was working as a governor of Saurashtra area. So here, Pushyagupta built Sudarshan Lake. This is the first lake in India for the cultivation, for the irrigation, for drinking, that is Sudarshana Lake. So this is also one of the important point of Chandragupta. And actually Chandragupta Maurya is not built the Sudarshan Lake, only Pushyagupta. Pushyagupta, he was the governor or viceroy, whatever, of Saurashtra. Saurashtra is under the apart from Maurya's dynasty. So he built Sudarshana Lake. And so regarding all these points, actually Chandragupta Maurya, he was Hindu. First of all, he has taken, or he was a person of Hindu, a king of Hindu. But later he joined in Jainism. He joined in Jainism. So because of 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, because of 𝗵𝗁𝗺, he has taken Jainism. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya has taken Jainism because of 𝗵𝗁𝗺. 𝗵𝗁𝗺, he was a Jainist monk. Because of his preachers, Chandragupta Maurya accepted Jainism. And whenever Chandragupta Maurya was ruling, so here in that Bihar and Uttar Pradesh area, the famine is occurred for 12 years. Famine is occurred for 12 years. So that's why these Jainist people migrated to 𝗬𝗏𝗻𝗁 area. They migrated to 𝗬𝗏𝗻𝗁 area. That is in Karnataka, 𝗬𝗏𝗻𝗁. All the maximum Jainist people migrated to 𝗬𝗏𝗻𝗁 under the leadership of 𝗵𝗁𝗺. So among that people, Chandragupta also one of the member. So he came to 𝗬𝗏𝗻𝗁, and here he did 𝗧lekana Vrat. You know, in the Jainism, 𝗧lekana Vrat is the most important concept. 𝗧lekana Vrat. 𝗧lekana Vrat means doing meditation without taking any kind of food and without feeling any kind of weather feelings. That's why, so here Chandragupta Maurya, he died here only. That's why where he did sacrificing, where he did meditation. So that hill, still now, today also, right now it is calling Chandragiri Hill. On the name of Chandragupta Maurya, that hill got the name Chandragiri Hill. So here, the capital of Mauryas. So capital of Mauryas, this is Pataliputram. Earlier I told you, this is Pataliputram. So actually, Pataliputram, it is built by Ajatashatru. Before Pataliputram, Magadha, that means Aryanka dynasty, Ajatashatru belongs to Aryanka dynasty. So actually Ajatashatru built Pataliputram. Before that they have the capital Giribraja and Rajagruha. But later it became capital to the Magadha rulers, as well as it is continued as the capital to Mauryas, Guptas, etc., etc. That's why, so Pataliputram was the capital of Mauryas. So now the successor of Chandragupta Maurya and second ruler of Maurya dynasty, that is Bindusara. Bindusara, accurate successor of Chandragupta Maurya. So Bindusara, he also called, so according to Greek literature, so he is called 𝗵𝗁𝗺𝗃𝗃. 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃. So 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃 means actually he is called in Sanskrit 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃. He is called 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃. In Sanskrit is called 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃. So this 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃 means he has no enemies. That means who are the enemies? He killed all the enemies. but enemies are not live. That's why it is called Amitra Gatha. So, in Greek literature is called like Amitrokaitos. So, this is we can say title, and so he expanded and he spreaded the kingdom up to down area of Mysore. So, whatever father has given the, what was the dynasty, what was the boundaries given by Chandragupta Maurya, he protected and expanded dynasty, that is Bindusara. And so he has 100 sons. Bindusara has 100 sons. Among that 100 sons, first one was 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 or Sushima. First one was Sushima. So he was appointed as the governor of 𝗪𝗪 or the viceroy of 𝗪𝗪. And third son, that is Ashoka. He was appointed as the governor of Ujjaini. Ashoka appointed to Ujjaini, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 appointed to 𝗪𝗪. But basically, Sushima, he has no efficiency in the administration. But Bindusara has intention to make him as the successor or the ruler after Bindusara. But here Sushima has no talent in administration. But once in 𝗪𝗪 was ruling by Sushima, there civil war. People revolted against government in 𝗪𝗪. But Sushima, he was helpless. He has not crushed, he has not controlled the revolution. Then Ashoka went to 𝗪𝗪 and he controlled, which is a revolution is there, he controlled the revolution. That's why Ashoka has the talent. Ashoka was the talented. But anyhow, he has 100 sons. Among them, first one was Sushima and third one was Ashoka. And there are contemporary kings in the world to Bindusara. Contemporary kings, contemporary rulers in the world. In that kings, the most important kings very close to Bindusara, that is first one, Antiochus, the ruler of Syria. Antiochus, the ruler of Syria, and Philadelphus, he was the ruler of Egypt. These are the closer to Bindusara and contemporary kings in the world. So one day, Bindusara sent a messenger, sent a person to Antiochus to get three things from Antiochus. So one, the philosopher. Antiochus was a Syria ruler. So Bindusara sent a messenger to get three things from Antiochus. First one, philosopher. So he asked Antiochus to send a philosopher to India. And second, fig fruits. So fig fruits, he asked fig fruits also. And wine. So Bindusara asked wine. So these three things asked to Antiochus. But Antiochus sent only two things, that is wine and so fig fruits. Fig fruits means we can say attipallu. Attipallu means so in what we can say like fig fruits, attipallu, anjira fruits. We can say anjira fruits. Anjira fruit is called it is a fig fruit because anjira is a plant. Anjira plant, it will grow up in the areas of desert areas, sand areas. That's why Syria, it is a sand area. So they will have a lot of production of fig fruit. That's why Bindusara asked him to send fruits, fig fruits and wine and philosopher. But Antiochus sent only two things, that is fig fruits and liquor, that means wine. But they have not sent these philosopher. Bindusara asked Antiochus, what happened? Why didn't send philosopher? But then Antiochus said, this is against to our law. This is against to our law. But they have no, so they can't accept to spread their knowledge in other countries. But regarding our India, we sent so many philosophers to foreign countries. But anyhow, so this is the information regarding Bindusara. Okay, after death of Bindusara, there was the clashes, there are the controversy among the sons of Bindusara. What are the controversy systems after the Bindusara? We have to follow that. Yes, now we go for the most, the great king, that is Ashoka. In India, he was very talented, very important king. He ruled from 269 to 232. He ruled from 269 to 232 BC. So here regarding Ashoka, we have some titles. Already I told that is Devanam Priya and Priyadarshi. These two titles also have that Chandragupta Maurya has these two titles also, as well as he has these two titles. And he has extra titles, that is first secular king in India. First secular king in India. Okay, first secular king in India. Second secular king in India, who is that? Akbar. Akbar is second secular king. He is the first secular king. So we can say he is the first secular king in ancient India also. First secular king in ancient India. So Akbar, first secular king in medieval India. Just we remember, we should get these questions sometimes. So we should have clarity. So he is the first secular king in India, as well as we can say first king, secular king in ancient India. Akbar, he is also called first secular king in medieval India, or second secular king in India. So that is the clarification. So Ashoka, so at the actually when he was a crown prince, he ruled Ujjain. He ruled Ujjain. So he ruled Ujjain. Whenever he was ruling Ujjain, in Takshashila there was the people or civil revolution, civil war. So then Ashoka went to Takshashila and controlled that situation. That's why from the beginning Ashoka most talented. Ashoka has administrative skills. So then after father, actually Bindusara died in 272. Bindusara died in 272 and 3. So, but what happened after 4 years? After 4 years, the gap of 4 years, immediately Ashoka has not become the ruler. But there is the gap because there was a clashes between the successors of Bindusara. So among that 100 brothers, there was the fighting for the throne. That's why in that fighting, Ashoka killed 98 brothers. Ashoka killed 98 brothers, but only one brother is left, that is 𝗧. That is 𝗧. So this is the brother was left by Ashoka, just he killed 98 brothers. So after killing them, he became the ruler of Maurya's dynasty. So here we should understand, according to 𝗹𝗶 and 𝗧𝗏. 𝗹𝗶, 𝗧𝗏, these are the books of Sri Lankan Buddhist. These are Sri Lankan Buddhist books, 𝗹𝗶, 𝗧𝗏. So 𝗹𝗶, 𝗧𝗏, they are saying that Ashoka's earlier name, that is Chanda Ashoka. Ashoka's earlier name is called Chanda Ashoka. So what is the meaning of Chanda Ashoka? Chanda Ashoka means that is a cruel Ashoka. Actually, you know, Ashoka mean, what is the meaning of Ashoka? What is meant by Ashoka? Ashoka, that means the person who has no sorrow. Who has no sorrow, that is Ashoka. Ashoka, he has no sorrow. That's why, because of that reason, so he has odd mentality, hard soul. That's why because of that kind of mentality, he killed 98 brothers. But it is not possible to kill 98 brothers to a common man, other people. Because of that person, heart should be strong. That's why Ashoka means not having sorrow. That's why, so 𝗹𝗶 and 𝗧𝗏, they described Chanda Ashoka. Earlier, Ashoka has a cruel mentality. That's why he is called Chanda Ashoka. But you see one thing, Ashoka is a pure non-vegetarian. Pure non-vegetarian. His kitchen, if we observe his kitchen, that kitchen has lot of skeletons, animal skeletons. So it is indicating how much non-veg Ashoka has eaten daily. So that means he has some cruel mentality. That's why according to 𝗹𝗶 and 𝗧𝗏, he is called Chanda Ashoka. So he has 5 wives. Ashoka has 5 wives. So in that 5 wives, so write down that is Asangamitra, Karwaki, Charwaki, Pushyarakshita and Padmavati. These are 5 wives of Ashoka. So you know Padmavati is from our Andhra area. So Ashoka married a Telugu lady Padmavati. That is Padmavati was Telugu lady. He married. And he has 5 sons. Ashoka has 5 sons. So that 5 sons are Kunala, Samprati, Julauka, Devarada and Mahendra. Kunala, Samprati, Julauka, Devarada and Mahendra. That is 2 daughters are Charumati and Sangamitra. Charumati and Sangamitra, these are the 2 daughters of Ashoka. So he has 5 wives, 5 sons, but some of the books they are saying only 3 sons. They can describe he has 3 sons, but actually, so if you go deeply, so we have 5 sons to Ashoka and 2 daughters, Charumati and Sangamitra. And his minister was Radha Gupta. His minister was Radha Gupta. So this is the information about family information about Ashoka. And Ashoka, he was first ruler laid inscriptions in India. He laid inscriptions. All I told you, he laid 14 rock inscriptions. 14 rock inscriptions, 14 rock inscriptions, and 7 pillar inscriptions. 7 pillar inscriptions. All the inscriptions throughout India, not only belonging to one area, but throughout India. That's why, so throughout India, outside of India also, he has so many inscriptions. So, his boundary inscriptions, what are the boundary inscriptions? Ashoka's, he has a major inscriptions, 21 major inscriptions, but small little inscriptions, so many inscriptions are there, but officially major inscriptions we have 21 inscriptions. So 14 plus 7. So 14 plus 7, these are called 21 inscriptions. And what are the boundary inscriptions of Ashoka? In the north, so Shabangiri inscription. North Shabangiri inscription. In Jammu and Kashmir border, so it is called Shabangiri inscription. And here in the south, Siddhapura. In the south, we have Siddhapura or Brahmagiri inscription. It is called Siddhapura or Brahmagiri inscription. So this is south boundary inscription. And west it is called Kandahar inscription. So in the west it has a Kandahar inscription. And in the east we have in Bangladesh, right now it is in Bangladesh. So this is Mahastan. This is Mahastan in Bangladesh. So we can understand the Ashoka kingdom like this. So this totally Ashoka kingdom, the vast kingdom. So Shabangiri, it is a north inscription, north boundary inscription, and Brahmagiri and Siddhapura, it is south boundary inscription, and east Mahastan, that is in Bangladesh, that is east boundary inscription, and Kandahar, it is a west boundary inscription. So this is the inscriptions of Ashoka. Ashoka used in the inscriptions 4 languages. He used in the inscription, that is Prakruta. In India, he used Prakruta language, but regarding script, he used 4 kinds of script. So maximum throughout India, he used Brahmi script. He used Brahmi script. Throughout maximum India, he used Brahmi script. Brahmi script means the writing which is from left to right. Brahmi means the writing which is from left to right. That is called Brahmi script. Total maximum in India, the inscriptions of Ashoka used by Brahmi script. And one more, Kharoshthi script. Kharoshthi. We should remember Kharoshthi script. This Kharoshthi script means from right to left. This script will be like from right to left. This is called Kharoshthi script. So Kharoshthi script, it is in North Indian area, especially Jammu and Kashmir, that area, North Indian area, this is from right to left. And Armenian and Greek. There are Armenian script also there and Greek script also there. Both are in northwest side of India. That's why Ashoka inscriptions have these four kinds of scripts. That is Brahmi script, Kharoshthi script, Armenian script and Greek scripts. So these are the information regarding script of Ashoka. Already I told you, so here in the Karnool, which is the script, that is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 inscription. This is the 13th inscription of Ashoka. It is the biggest inscription of Ashoka. So it is explaining about Kalinga war. So Ashoka life will be divided before Kalinga, after Kalinga war. So it is landmark in the life of Ashoka, that is before Kalinga war, after Kalinga war. So Kalinga war, it is occurred in 261 BC. Kalinga war, it is occurred in 261 BC. Okay. So what was the reason for this war? Why did it is happened? So what was the reason of this is Kalinga war? But most of all people, they can say Kalingas, so they are not apart from Maurya dynasty, Maurya empire. Because of that reason, Ashoka attacked on Kalinga. Kalinga means right now it is called Orissa area. This is Kalinga, Orissa area. This is Kalinga area. So it is not a part of Mauryas. That's why Ashoka attacked on Kalinga. This is some of the reason, some of the historians they may say like this. But accurate reason, that is in 261 BC Kalinga war, because of there was a reason. So from Sri Lanka, Ashoka was getting these spices. Ashoka was he was getting spice because before Kalinga war, Ashoka, he was a pure non-vegetarian. So always he used to take non-veg. That's why, so whenever we can use spices, non-veg will have tasty. That's why for the taste, he was getting regularly the spices from Sri Lanka. So that day in 261, the boats are coming to Patliputra through this Bay of Bengal, and they will enter inside Mahanadi river. This is called Mahanadi river. They have to enter to Mahanadi river. So while entering in Mahanadi river, that Mahanadi, it is in Kalinga. Mahanadi river, it flows across Kalinga. That means Orissa. Okay. So that spices boats were robbed by Naga tribe. Here we know Naga tribe was there in Kalinga. That Naga tribe robbed the spices boats of Ashoka. Then Ashoka sent a message to the Kalinga rulers, especially, so we have Raja Anantan, but maximum books are not telling who fought against Ashoka in Kalinga war. But here Raja Anantan and 𝗏𝗏, one of the king, and Raja Anantan, both are the kings fought against Ashoka in Kalinga war. So Ashoka, what he has done, he sent a message to these kings, because that robbery is happened in the area of, in the kingdom of these kings. That's why Ashoka sent a message to these rulers. But the rulers have not given proper response. That's why Ashoka became very serious and he attacked on Kalinga. This is why, this is the reason behind of Kalinga war. So we should remember, this is Raja Anantan, who are the kings fought against Ashoka in Kalinga war. That is Raja Anantan 𝗏𝗏. So right now we can see, after Kalinga war also we can see 𝗏𝗏 dynasty ruled Orissa. So we will have this idea. That's why Raja Anantan and 𝗏𝗏. So his army chief Padmanabhan, his army chief 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, his army chief Padmanabhan and his army chief 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. So this is the Kalinga war. But you see, this is the great war because 6 lakhs people, 6 lakhs soldiers, army participate in Kalinga war. So in that 6 lakhs, 1 lakh is died in that war. 1 lakh is killed. And 2 lakhs, near about 2 lakhs are injured. That's why after completion of this war, Ashoka attitude has changed, totally changed. because the blood it flows like a river. Because of that blood, and also the relatives, wives, parents, children of that who died in that war, who injured that war, their relatives, their father, their mother, everybody, parents, they were crying. So that area, it's became totally, it is like a blood river, and the cryings. Then Ashoka mind attitude has changed. From that day onwards, Ashoka decided not to do wars. So he wants to close the wars. So from that day onwards, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧, he wanted for 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧s, but now he became 𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗚𝗃. So he became 𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗃, so he wanted 𝗓𝗏-vijaya. So this is the impact, this is the effect of Kalinga War. That's why Ashoka's life, it is divided before Kalinga War, after Kalinga War. So Ashoka totally changed after Kalinga War. That's why when Ashoka became like a welfare king, like a secular king, he strived for the welfare of the people. That is totally after Kalinga War. That's why Kalinga War was a great war, and until now, this much of people, near about 6 lakhs people, they participated in this war. But I think no war in India participated this much of people. This is so Kalinga War. So after Kalinga War, Ashoka became Buddhist monk. So after Kalinga War, Ashoka immediately has not taken Buddhism. So he wandered for 5 years. He visited the Buddhist holy places like Prayaga, Kapilavastu, Vaishali, so Saranath, like where are the Buddhist holy places, he visited all the places within 5 years. After 5 years, he has taken Buddhism by the preachers of 𝗶𝗏𝗃, by the preachers of 𝗶𝗏𝗃. So 𝗶𝗏𝗃 was, 𝗶𝗏𝗃 also called 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗺. So 𝗶𝗏𝗃 also called 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗺. So because of 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗺 or 𝗶𝗏𝗃, he accepted Buddhism. From that day onwards, whenever he taken Buddhism, he became the 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧. So Ashoka's life, it is divided. So before Kalinga War, after Kalinga War. So after Kalinga War, he has taken Buddhism, he became 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗃. He constructed stupas, beautiful stupas, and he strived for the welfare of the people. So we can discuss the next information in the later class.